Hey YouTube, it's time for this year's tag camper update. Now my tag is from 2017, it's 4 years old now. However, every year we put about 10 to 15,000 miles on it. So we've got around 60, 70,000 miles on this camper, which would be about where people would be after normally after 10 years of owning one of these. So my camper is starting to look a little worn and things are broken and getting a little dirty. So I decided to do an upgrade. Let's just redo it from stem to stern, top to bottom, turn it into a whole new camper, better than a 2021 tag. Let me show you what all I did. We're gonna start from the front, work to the back, and then I got a new add-on screen tint that really fits this thing nice. I'll put that onto the video too toward the end, and I'll show you a whole bunch of neat stuff. So I'm gonna take the camera off now and just kind of walk around with it. You won't have to look at my ugly face no more. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the electric. The solar I added. I've got another video that tells you how I installed these. It shows you how I installed these. But here we are 70,000 miles later, and the solar panels are still on. I mean, they're still on great, just like they were the day I installed them. They haven't come loose at all. So watch that video on how to install these. Now, in this box here I added, let me open this up, is the Remodel lithium iron phosphate battery. Now this thing is like super light. It weighs nothing, and it's equal to about 2 of the big giant batteries that came with the tag. And there's a 1,000 watt inverter that converts my battery power to pure electric that I can run anything off of. And the battery compartment in here, where the old big lead acid battery was, I got a second one of these. So I got plenty of power. And one other thing while you're in here, your stabilizers. Take this thing here. And I was keeping it under the bed, but it's kind of a pain in the ass. I seen on another video where somebody made this. You just get a piece of PVC pipe and fasten it in there like that, and that really holds that in a nice. It ain't going nowhere, and makes it easy. It's one of the first things you need when you get anywhere you're going. Now, okay, that's stuff that is in the past. Okay, there's other videos about this stuff, but I did want to mention. Oh, I did want to mention too, the inverter in the kitchen back there. The button. In the video where I installed this, there's a button in the kitchen where you turn this inverter on and off. Because this inverter, even if you're not running anything, the inverter itself uses a little bit of power. So it has a remote to turn it on and off, just like this on-off switch right here. But I found out that it doesn't use squat, so I just leave it on all the time. I just leave it on all the time. You don't have to turn it on and off anymore. If you want to run the microwave, want to run the toaster, want to run the coffee maker off of these batteries, just turn them on and run it. Don't worry about it. The solar cells do a good job of keeping this thing charged up. And right down here is the thing that lets you know how good your charge is. And you can see it's charging right now from the panels, from the sunshine. And it's full every night. Every night it's full. And I just leave stuff on now. Even when it's just sitting here in storage, I leave the stereo on, I leave all kinds of stuff on. I let it draw some juice out of the battery. The solar panels put it back in every day. Keeps it all kind of running good. The marine charger, by the way, always buy marine stuff. It can get wet. It's made to go on a boat. I've had people put comments, you can't put that on the outside of your tag, you'll ruin it. It's not a normal regulator. It's a marine regulator. It's made for a boat. It's watertight. That's why as I walk back to the campground tonight, I can see where my battery's at. Something I always worried about was someone coming along at the campground, eyeballing my camper, taking a liking to it, and just deciding to hook it up and leave with it. And if you watch YouTube, I've seen some other videos where that has happened. People steal campers. So I got this Reese hitch lock. There's a big ball on here that fits up in there. and then this clamp, and then it can't come off. Your hitch is all bound up. There's no way to put a ball in there. Now it won't stop anybody from stealing your camper because they can hacksaw that off. But that's a pretty good piece of steel there. You're gonna have to hacksaw through. If you're in a campground, it'll delay them long enough. Somebody will see it. If you're out in the middle of nowhere, they're gonna get it anyway. But maybe it'll delay them enough to where you get back. Now, the wife complained about the bumpers. Okay, the bumpers had turned almost white from the sun, faded. I mean, they looked awful. They turned white. So I bought some Trim Restore. It's called Trim Restore. It's supposed to restore plastic because this ain't really metal. This is more like a plastic. This Trim Restore brought about half of the color back, but not all of it. But then I did notice though, when it was wet, it was really red looking. And then once it dried, it kind of faded out white again. So I took a can of polyurethane spray. You just put a light can of polyurethane spray on it, and it just darkened the entire fender. It doesn't look too bad now. It really doesn't. It might, actually what you see on there is not faded, it's pollen from the pine trees here in North Carolina. I ordered some retro curtains that say Omaha Camping, you know, restaurant, old style signs, you know, like old style signs back in the old days. Now let me show you what I did on the inside of this thing, okay? Oh, and the tires. The tires, when they sell you this camper, they tell you there's a special gas in the tires to keep them from going flat. Well, they do go flat over time. When I checked them, it's been 4 years, I haven't touched these tires, but they only had about 28 pounds of air in them. They're supposed to be at 50 pounds. So I called my tire guy. Even though they got this special gas, he said just put air in them. Just add air to them and put air in them from now on. Don't worry about it. Just do them like any other tire. Now the inside, let me show you what I did on the inside, because all the other tags got the white walls. The white walls, they get dirty. So I bought cedar. This is all cedar wood. I covered the entire inside with cedar. You just cut it and glue it on with Gorilla Construction adhesive. Let me get on in here. You can see. It's all wood. It's really nice. Nice wood. Looks nice. That's an actual painting somebody at Rex Hospital did for my wife. She works at Rex Hospital during this COVID thing. Somebody gave her a painting that they did themselves, so we hung it here in the camper. And over there I've got an old antique, what do you call them there, the tile. It's an antique tile. My mom bought me this thing. It's old. Mom's gone now, but I hung the tile here in the camper. But the wood really looks nice. And the nice thing about cedar is something you put in your closet to keep the bugs out. Bugs hate the smell of cedar. I think the cedar smells nice. It smells great in here. I love it. But this will keep the bugs out. It'll drive the mosquitoes right out of your camper. So you should be able to open the doors now, and it shouldn't get too many bugs in here. They should. I've noticed the bugs that do get in here, they want out. They don't like it. They don't like the smell of this, and they want out. Now the shelf. I put this shelf in here because we have never used the TV. The TV used to be right there, and in 4 years and 70,000 miles, I've never turned it on. Never even put the batteries into the remote. So I took it out, and I ordered this painting off of Amazon. This is a painting of a Western saloon. It looks like one of the places we've been at, maybe in some of the ghost towns. It's a pretty cool painting. Now the neat thing about this is, once I took the TV out, there's empty space behind this. So I put some hinges on it, and if you lift up, see, there's not supposed to be a storage here. There used to be a bunch of wires and crap back here, but I rerouted all the wires and passed them to the back wall, boxed it all in, made a storage place out of it, but it's not supposed to be a storage place, so you can like hide your valuables in there, stuff that nobody, you don't want them to know where it is. You can hide it in here and cover it with a painting, and it's got a really strong magnet that holds it once it shuts. And then at night, your shoes. What do you do with your shoes with these tire campers? We've always had a problem with your shoes. What do you do with your shoes? So that's what I added this shelf here for. It goes all the way across. I put a backing on it here so I can set my shoes up there. I can set me a house coat. If I want to put something on in the middle of the night, just set it right up there. It's out of the way, it's easy to reach. Excuse me. Now, and I did take it all the way across, and there is still room. These cabinets, whoops, these cabinets open, and I just popped my things off the top. Let me show you that. You get two, or what do you call these things? Anyway, you just put them across the tops of the cabinet there. Keeps them from opening while the thing's going down the road. So that's all you got to do for that. Put something like that, and it can't open anymore. But what I was going to, I forgot about that. Let me pull it. But you know, there is still clearance here. I can open the cabinets and use them. And one other thing. Oh, my sheets. I didn't show you my sheets. They ordered these sheets off of Amazon. They got bears, and mooses, mooses, not mices. Definitely not mices. They're mooses. Anyway, how do you keep warm in a tag camper when it's cold? If you're in a place where it's cold, how do you keep warm? It's difficult. If you got shore power, you know, it's not so bad. But if you ain't got shore power, you're running solar. How do you run heat when you're limited on your electric? What I found works best is just bundle up. Bundle up, like bundle up a bunch of blankets. Otherwise, there's a couple different ways. Electric blanket. This electric blanket plugs into the 12-volt outlet right over there. It only uses 100 watts, and it works good. You put this under your blanket so it stays warm underneath. You only got to turn it on. It'll turn off after about an hour automatically. And I usually only have to wake up maybe in the middle of the night, turn it on one more time. It keeps you warm all night. And then something new I'm going to try this year is a heater. I've always wanted to have an actual heater to actually heat the inside. It's hard to find a small, low wattage heater. So I finally found one. This thing is a ceramic heater made by Brighttown. It's 400 watts. 400 watts means I can actually run this off of the inverter, no problem, for quite a few hours. But I figured you'd only go and use it to get your trailer warm and then shut it off. Get cold, turn it back on again. And it can sit right up here on the shelf and then plug right into the wall over there. And oh, that's about it other than the stereo. Let me talk about this stereo, okay? This stereo, it's a nice stereo. I'm not gonna turn it on because I don't want to get copyrighted for whatever music is on there right now. It's a nice stereo, but it sounds like shit. And I was like, why does it sound like shit? I looked this up. It's a nice stereo, so it's got to be the damn speakers. Let me show you what they had in here. Here's the speakers that came with the tag camper. This stereo is an 80-watt stereo, 40 watts per channel. They put speakers in, Marine speakers, 6-inch, one-way speaker, 30 watts. They can't even handle the power that this thing, if you crank this up past 2/3, you're blowing these speakers. That's why they rumble so bad when you turn it up. So I put some 80-watt speakers, so even if you crank this up full power, you're right at the sweet spot for these. It's about their mid-range on power, and these are two-way speakers, and these are Marine speakers. I put Marine speakers in for the same reason they probably put Marine speakers in, is I don't know if anybody slept the night in a cold weather in your tag camper. When you wake up in the morning, the ceiling is all covered with droplets of water from your sweat or from your breath, the moisture you breathe out. And so I think that's why they have the Marine speakers, because they will get a little damp after a couple people in there sleeping overnight. And let me mention something about this bed. Now, if anybody's had one of these, once you're out on the road and you got this bed covered with pillows and blankets and dirty clothes that you piled in the corner because you're too lazy to put them where they belong or whatever, you guys know what I'm talking about. It gets all cluttered up mess in here. And, you know, it's your camper. Anyway, you need something under the bed. So this year I'm using under the bed for putting food for dinner and breakfast and whatnot. Now snacks I'm still keeping in a box inside the truck in case we just want a snack. But everything else is under the bed here unless it's refrigerated. But anybody who had these know that these doors don't always want to go back down the way they're supposed to. And they don't fit into their hole exactly like they're supposed to. And when you got all this crap on the bed, you're in here, especially when this door drops down inside here, like it comes loose over there and it drops down in, and it's hard. It's rust. You got to wrestle with it. It's a bitch. So let me pull it up right over there. You see hinges. You put hinges from one door to the other, and now it has to lay down exactly like it's supposed to. Goes right into its hole. It's no big problem at all. And I do got my stick here. Oops. You keep a stick so you can prop your door open like that. See, prop it open, and then you got a hinge at each end of the bed. Now watch it. See, I can drop it. I can just drop it. I can let go of it and drop it. It'll go right in place. I don't have to mess with it. So now, let's move on back to the back of the camper, into the kitchen area, and let me show you what we did there. But don't this look nice? Don't that wood look nice? It really does. It's nice. We love it. It just looks nice. And I love the new retro curtains. Now, in the back, we used to have bumper stickers of all the different national parks. We had about 50 of them on there, but after a few years they start getting nasty looking, cracking. Some of them fade, some of them just look white. You can't even read them no more. And the wife said that was getting nasty looking too. She wanted me to do something about it. Those old bumper stickers are hard to get off. I found out the best way to do it is go get a heat gun. Get a heat gun and take a heat gun to them, and they tend to peel right off. You can take a razor blade, scrape them right off once you get them kind of hot and melty. But the problem with the heat gun is it got a little too hot, and it did melt the paint on the tag a little bit in a couple places on the door. So I thought, well, hell. So what I did, let me show you this. You're gonna love this. I ordered a big vinyl mural sticker off of. I ordered a big vinyl sticker off of Amazon of a grizzly bear. See, he's a grizzly bear, and he's looking at a little butterfly there. Saying, anyway, what you get is just the window. This came from somewhere else. The wood that makes it look like a cabin came from a second mural that I used on the inside of the kitchen. But this is the extra from that. So I used it around the window mural of the bear to turn the back of the tag into a log cabin with a bear looking out. So anybody that follows you, get to see that. Ain't that cool? And the license plate, okay? We lost our license plate last trip. We got it's somewhere in Wichita, give or take 100 miles. It tore right off. See, the bracket actually broke on it. So, and we kept bending it. It used to hang down. We'd bend it all the time. I'd bend it back. So I just moved it. I didn't want to put no holes into the body of the camper. So I cut a piece of wood slightly smaller than the tag, and I literally glued it to the door with Gorilla Glue construction adhesive. Same stuff I use on all the wood. And then you're able to screw your tag right to that wood. And that way you can replace that tag later on and just leave the wood attached to your trailer. Now let me open this thing up, show you what we did inside. Now look at that. Looks like something out of Disney World. I ordered another big mural of a barn and just I could only use about half of it. So I cut out the best part and stuck it on the inside of the door, because that was white vinyl before and it was getting dirty. It had torn in a couple places, and it was just looking not too clean. It wasn't. So I put this mural on there, and it's really cool. Look at that. Ain't that nice? And then I did finish up the backsplash. I put the backsplash on last year, just here where the stove was. The wife liked it so good, she made me do the entire thing. And that's got like this gold. In the morning, in the desert, when the sun hits this gold, you should see it. It's hard on the eyes. It just shines. So that's actual gold foil on the back of half-inch glass. And in the morning, when the sun hits it, oh, you should see it. It's really something. These are my wall wings here. Let me move these out of the way. I'll show you these in just a second. They're in another video, but I'm gonna show them to you again anyway. The nice thing about the wall wings, you just lay them there on the counter when you're, ooh, let me get my pipe out of the way. That's not supposed to be in the video. Ooh, sorry about that. Anyway. So anyway, did the backsplash. I ordered the sign off of Amazon. It's got our YouTube channel on it, Traveling with Rick and Trina, on all of our travel videos. And then I bought these old retro plates with the old camper, like in the old days. There's 4 different plates. One's got the California coastline, one's got the Utah desert, that's this one. One's got like the Smoky Mountains, one's got the beach. So we can change the plate for display depending on where we're at. And it has some smaller plates that are all the same. They got all this Route 66 travel kind of stuff on them. They're kind of cool. And for the coffee maker, like I said, the coffee maker, everything runs off the battery now. Even if you plugged in the shore power, I still just let everything run off the battery. That way we don't have to change nothing over. And then the shore power then recharges the batteries. So, you know, and the solar. So, you know, that's all that matters. Keep the battery charged up. This is what I bought for holding my K-cups. Ain't that cool? It's the kitty cat. I like kitty cats. This was a big old fat one. See, he holds about 40 K-cups. The cabinet here with the wagon hub, it matches the wheel up here, okay? I took that mural and I cut off the excess. And I just happened to set this piece down here on the floor to get it out of my way. I didn't plan on doing this. I just set that there to get it out of my way. It was excess, it was extra. I walked into the house to get a cup of coffee, and as I walked back out, I saw this. It kind of looked like that. It was just sitting there. I was like, whoa, I said, that matches so, I'm doing the cabinets. So I used that hub of the wagon wheel right there and put it on the cabinets. I took the handles off, put that on there, and then put the handles back. Looks great. Then on the shelf here, that comes standard with all tags. I don't know if you've ever put stuff like I got my coffee creamer and sugar, but when you're going down the road, things tend to bounce and move all over this thing, and you end up with a big mess. So I made these little dividers that fit in here. They're not passing. If you cut them the right length, they can't go anywhere. They lock themselves in because they touch at each end, and they make nice little dividers to keep things so things don't get all messed up. So this was a cool idea, and I cut them just high enough for, I mean, I could stain them, but you don't really see them because they sit down inside. I'm looking straight down in just to show them to you. But yeah, it's just it's just a piece of wood. You cut it exactly the right size. It just barely fits, so you gotta get it to barely fit. So see, you can't get it to, it locks in. So yeah, it holds everything in place. Along with the backsplash, I covered the walls up. The white vinyl walls that were looking dirty, I covered that up with red oak. I don't know if you can see that. Red oak. And I know y'all gonna ask, where do I find red oak like that? Look at that, red oak. Well, you go to Lowe's and you buy a panel of oak, and then you buy some red wood stain, and then suddenly you got red oak. So anyway, I like the wood better. I just like wood. I like everything wood. And even this, I love this. I just love it. Anyway, ain't that nice? Now let me put the wall wings on. I'm gonna put these wall wings, and I'm gonna show you the new canopy. It's a screen house, actually, not just a canopy. The last video we showed a canopy. I got a new screen house that fits this tag great. Oh, one other thing, let me show you here. I made another storage place. Let me pull the fridge out. The new tags don't even have fridges. The new tags got like ice chests. I like the fridge. It runs on power. And I can run this off my batteries and my solar. So I don't need ice. I put a couple boards right across there. See that? There's a storage place there now. See, I put these boards on here, and that was a waste of space. I ain't decided what to put in there yet. I'm thinking a griddle. I'm thinking you can buy a griddle that fits over both burners. Big giant griddle. And the griddle would slide. The griddle would slide right in that space there and hold that like a little pocket. So that's what I'm kind of thinking there. Paper towels. Everybody uses a different kind of holder with these tags. I like this one here. Let me take this off. This is supposed to be over the cabinet, and you can use it over the cabinet. It's okay there, but I kind of like it here when I'm on the move. Like when we're going down the road, and I just need to pull over and make a coffee or make some lunch, I kind of like it right there. But then I got another spot for when we're actually in a campground. I don't like it there when I'm in the campground because it's in the way of the sink and whatnot. So there's lots of places you can put it, because you can put it there, you can put it here, on the cabinet, you can turn it this way and slip it right over the counter there, and it'll hold that paper towel a couple inches off the counter if you want to put it there. You can put it up here. If you didn't have a coffee maker in the way, you can hang it right there on the shelf. You can hang it right down here. The place I like best is right here on the license plate. So I moved the license plate, and that thing just hangs right on the old license plate holder, really nice. And that works well with the new screen tint. When I put the screen tint up, you'll see what I'm talking about. But when the screen tint ain't up, it's going right there on the spice rack, which is actually a good spot for it. Most people would probably want it right there. But once I get the screen tint up here and show you how that works, you'll understand why I want it down here. Let's see, what am I forgetting? I'm gonna put the wall wings on now and show you how those work. It fits on here with Velcro. Slap that baby up. That's all there is to it. So, let me do the other one. Okay, you see how these fit on there? They just fit on with Velcro along the top and the bottom. They cut the wind great. What do you do with your wall wings when you take them down? I've seen a lot of people go to a lot of trouble to figure out places and ways to store your wall wings when they're not being used. It's pretty simple. Let me show you what I do. Mainly you just need a carbinger. Go get you a little carbinger. See that? They come off pretty easy. Just Velcro, but they stay on in the strongest wind. So anyway, just roll this thing up like this, keeping it nice and tight. Problem is, normally when you roll these, as soon as you set down somewhere, it unrolls great big. That's what you need the carbinger for. So roll that up nice and tight. Slip the big end of the carbinger over it, go to the halfway point, smush it down to the little end, holds it together nice and tight. See, it doesn't go nowhere. And now you can just lay this. So when you're on the move, you just lay them across the back here. See, they're back behind the coffee maker and the toaster and all that. And the carbingers hold them rolled up nice and tight. And when you get you where you're going, just take them out and slap them back on. They only take a second to put on. So even sometimes when I stop, even if it's just for a night while we're traveling, I don't always put up the screen tint, but I always put up the wall wings because they're so easy and quick. And you have to have these when you cook. They're just so nice when you cook. They totally cut the wind. Your fire never blows out. And these wall wings fit nice with the screen tint that I'm about to show you. Okay, so let me show you the new screen tint. The old tint was just a rectangle that fit over top of the tag. This thing butts right up to it. Now let me show you how it works. Here is the Alvantor screen tint. Let me show you how easy this thing is to put up. Get it out of the bag. Now you gotta watch, the first time you put this up, it comes a lot smaller. At the factory, they fold this again in half again, make it a lot smaller. And the first time you pull that strap that holds it together off, it just about explodes. So, be careful of that. Now we had one of these that was a little smaller. A 10-foot one, this is a 12-foot one. But let me show you about the nice thing about the 12-foot one. You can make the 12-foot one, a 10-foot one, or an 8-foot one, or a 4-foot one, depending on how you fold it. So get the 12-foot, and you can make it any size you want. I'll show you how that works. This thing here, take that strap off, and I'm gonna let go of this thing. It's just gonna like go wild here. Now we just stand this thing up. that's pretty much it. Let me back up because this thing is so big, can't get it in the picture. It fits up with the wall wings. See the wall wings over here? It fits right up against them, really nice. I anchored at the top. I just cut that. It's got these ties here, and I just cut this one off short, and it fits right onto the handle of the door to the tag. And then I got this in another video, but it works good with any tent. You take a board, you put a bolt to the end with a wing nut, and that holds your tent down. You put the other end of the board under your stabilizer and jack it down solid. So now this tent is basically fastened, held to the ground with the entire weight of the tag camper holding it down. So it's not going anywhere. So it's tied down in two places here. It's tied down in two places at the top. That seems to be enough so far. If you get some real wind, you can tie down. You can tie down every corner of it if you want, but I don't see the need. Here's the inside of it. It's nice inside. It's big and it's roomy, and it fits nice right up to the kitchen. See how the door opens up right into the kitchen. And if it gets buggy, you can close the screen. The other end, you can close the screen. And I've got panels. There are hooks here. I've got panels. They're skinnier at the top, they're wider at the bottom. They're made to fit each of these windows. I've got 6 of them, so I can cover each of these windows if I need to. I can cover each of these windows if I need to. And the only opening you have at that point is the door, which I can put the screen down and close it. You can do that for privacy. You can put them on for shade if the sun's messing with you. And you don't have to put them all up. You can put 1 up, 2 up. You can put one entire wall. You can put on 1 wall or just the 2 in the kitchen. Sometimes I'll do that. I'll put 1 here and here. That way, if I get into the kitchen, I'm kind of private. If I step out here, I can be seen again by the neighbors. So anyway, we love this tent. It works good. And 2 other things. This is a refrigerator. Same as the one that came in the tag. This one can go down to 0 degrees. It can be used as a fridge or a freezer. Anybody that owns the tag, the older tags with the fridges know that. This is basically the same thing. Actually, let me turn it around. That's the way it's supposed to be. There, Astro AI maybe? Astro AI? Not sure. Anyway, it's a nice little fridge. It works great. We've tried it. You can plug it in the wall or you can plug it into the 12 volts. It's about the size of the one that's in the tag. It's not very big. So what we do now, the tag fridge is for food only. This thing, I can put 12 20-ounce bottles of pop or water and keep them ice cold. It'll go down to 0 degrees too if you want to make it a freezer or a refrigerator. I do find out both of these, they work better as a fridge. They don't use as much battery. If you got shore power, go ahead and use it for a freezer. You don't have to worry about the electricity. In the past, we've always used the segways. Some campgrounds don't allow you to use the segways. Some national parks won't let you use the segways. Nobody seem to be having a problem with bicycles. So we bought 2 of these Gyro electric bikes. This thing will go 30 miles without pedaling. The battery's inside the stem here. You plug it in. It takes about 5 hours to charge up. This thing goes 20 miles an hour. It's really fast for a bike. 20 miles an hour is plenty. The wife doesn't even, I have to put hers on number 2, which leaves her at a maximum of 12 miles an hour because she thinks 20 is just too fast. It scares her. So you can set it on setting 1, 2, or 3. So I'm gonna put hers on 2 and I'm gonna leave mine on 3. I'm a nut. I like to drive crazy. Now this is not the original seat. The original seats were smaller and they sat much higher, and it made the bike a little unstable. So I lowered the seat you're a little too close to the pedals, but it's not that bad. I can still pedal it like on a hill, and you can always stand up. But why do you need the pedal? It'll go 30 miles without pedaling, so you really don't need to worry about it. But I mainly got these to go back and forth to the bathroom in the campgrounds. But we got 2 of these, and I just want to show you that. So that's the other accessory, along with the little fridge we bought. Then we put this thing goes in the truck when we're traveling too. So as we're driving around, we leave the camper at the campground. This fridge goes with us in the truck. And while we're talking about the refrigerators, let me mention this booster pack here. This is something you would buy normally to jump a car with, okay? You can actually jump a car with this thing. It plugs into the wall, charges up. It's got 1500 peak amps, 5,000 watts. You can check the status of it here. Anyway, what I got this for mainly, you can jump your car with it, or if somebody else needs to jump and you don't want to jump off of your battery, just let them use this to jump their car. Okay, but the main reason I bought it is this. It's got a 12-volt plug-in right here. So we're running the little fridge we bought to carry in the truck, and then we park somewhere and we're going to take a hike for a couple hours. You don't really want that fridge sitting there running your truck battery down, and you come back and have a dead battery, especially if something happens on your hike and you take longer than you expect. So that's what I bought this for. So if we have to leave the truck alone for a few hours, we'll plug that little refrigerator into this thing instead of the truck and just let it run this thing down dead. It'll last about 5 hours running that fridge, and then when we get back to the campground, we can recharge this. So I wanted to mention this. This is good to have so you can keep your pop cold while you're out on a hike or out doing stuff. And you can keep your little fridge inside the truck plugged into this, so you got nice cold, ice cold pop when you come out from wherever your hike. And if you're going to buy several things that runs off of 12-volt outlets like this, 12-volt plugs, then I bought this thing. This thing's a splitter. This way I can plug 2 things in at once if I need to. Of course, you got a 12-volt here. You got one on the inside. You got one, a couple of them in the truck. There shouldn't be no shortage of these, but in the truck though, I can plug like a navigator into one and the fridge into the other. And so they do make these in a splitter Y. Now let's talk about cooking utensils, cooking pans. So I have managed to fit our entire kitchen under this cabinet, which is for most people is not an easy thing to do. And it's not that bad. See, I've got all the paper stuff here. Let me get it out of the way. That's the paper stuff, all sizes. So we got paper plates to put over top of these plates, and then we can just throw away the paper plate, and we don't have to do dishes. Okay. And there is a set of bowls that match this set, which is on Amazon. And you open it up, and it's a cutlery set. It's got all your forks and knives and spoons and butter knives and one sharp knife, a wine bottle opener, and bottle opener. It's got 4 stainless steel plates that I still put the paper plate on them so we don't have to wash them. So that's a nice little set. Got all your silverware in it. Now let me talk about pans, pots and pans. Man, I tell you, now you might have seen the coffee cups in here. I got my 40-year-old stainless steel cup, bought it 40 years ago, still using it for my coffee cup. I do keep some paper cups under here for making oatmeal in the microwave, for making soup, anything like that. Just make it in a paper cup, throw it away. Don't want to do no dishes. I've got 2 saute pans in this bag. Nice saute pans with a lid that with a strainer you can turn, use them as a strainer. Now let me show you these frying pans. This is what I want to show you. The problem with trying to put pots and pans in here is the handle. The frying pan takes up half the cabinet, but then the handle sticks way out over to here, hits this wall, and takes up the other half of the cabinet. So buy a frying pan without a handle. Let me show you this. My saute pans are big enough and Teflon coated that I can actually fry an egg in them if I need to. And then my frying pans are deep enough that I can use for a saute pan. So everything can kind of fit in for something else if you need to. Now I do take my plate down before I actually cook, okay? The plate's just for decoration. I take it down when I do my cooking. Well, mainly because I'm going to eat on it, for one thing. Anyway, my frying pan. There's no handle. It takes up half the cabinet. It comes with a handle like this. Look at this thing. Okay, so you just put your handle on there, turn that lever till it clicks. You got to hold that frying pan. Then let go. You just squeeze the buttons on the side, it lets go. And then the same handle works the other pan. Just give it one little snap, it's got a hold of it. Just like that. Let go of it. So the same handle works both pans. But you don't have a handle to deal with in here. It gets rid of the handle. You can put one pan inside the other pan and the handle inside of the pan. And then it just right down in there real nice. And I got a box of baggies in the back because you never know when you need a baggie. So anyway, frying pans, put the bowls, silverware, all the paper plates, saute pans, 2 of them inside of there. Paper cups in case I need to heat some soup in the microwave. Oh, and I did put a thing over here with keys. Okay, I hate carrying keys, so I got my truck key, and then I got the key that opens the door to this kitchen on my key ring, and that's all I carry. Truck key, key to the kitchen of the camper. All the other keys for the water and all the crap on the side and the locks up front and on the tongue and all that stuff goes on here. It's a ring, not a hook, because the hook, it can bounce off while you're going down the road. Clipped, so it ain't going nowhere. So all my keys are right here. So in closing, I said stem to stern, top to bottom. So I went over the solar, went over the batteries, the electrical. The stuff we did in there was the hand crank. Putting real wood inside the camper. It really looks nice. Cedar, it smells nice in here. Got the special hiding place for your valuables. And heating, electric blanket if you want to heat that way. Tiny little 400 watt heater if you want to heat the camper. Brought the fenders back to like new almost. Wing walls, bear decal on the outside door. Retro curtains. Oh, I didn't show you one thing in here real quick. The cup holders. The cup holders that used to be here. Now if you're sitting in bed with your back here, this cup holder is almost behind you. It's almost impossible to reach with your damn hand. Who the hell decided to put it there? That's a bad place. So when I redid the walls, I had to take everything off. So I moved it. The cup holder is now right over here. Cup holder right here, just to the left of the door. So while I can sit here in my doorway, looking out over the campground, and my drink is right here where I can reach it. Or if I'm sitting in the bed, I'm sitting this way. My drink is right here where I can reach it. Either way, I can reach it. I put hers right over there. And I moved the fire extinguisher up here. It used to be here. That lets me hang my painting here. And I put the fire extinguisher kind of above the window. And I did move that's the smoke alarm. It has to be up high. I moved it. It used to be over here. I moved it above the door because that's kind of a useless space above the door. And then the carbon monoxide hangs down low, so I put it under the window so we're out of the way. And like I said, real wood on the walls, hangs the stuff on the walls, retro curtains, decal on the door, wall wings. These are the retro wall wings too. She's got different colors, different. Just Google wall wing lady, you'll find her. Alvantor screen tent. Electric bike, get around the campground. Refrigerator plugs into 12 volts. Decals of a barn in the kitchen. Backsplash, retro plates. It's all just nice. It's all nice. We love it. We love it. So that's it. Probably this will last us another 4 years, and I'll do it again. Or we may get a bigger camper. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. So that's it for this video. I know it's kind of long. But my camper videos get some of the most views. So I figure it don't hurt to be long. People like seeing all these ideas. There's a lot of people that have these campers, and the people that have these campers love these campers. So I hope you like some of my ideas. I hope I help some people out. And put down in the comments anything you've seen you like. Oh, hey, there's the neighbor's kitty. Hi, kitty. How you doing, Hillary? You know, Hillary. That's the neighbor's cat. She's not my cat. She's come over to say hello. Give me leg rubs. Anyway, she had to get into the video. So that's it. So we'll see y'all later.